Welcome back to a new video. So this is going to be my Sunday session. I want to front squat again. I don't want to front squat heavy because I am sore from yesterday. I did some stationary bike earlier in the day, like 300 calories. That's how I've been measuring it, at least is the amount of energy that I'm doing on it. I'm not trying to do it very intensely. When I am doing it, I'm trying to just accrue calories with it, essentially. So just trying to get more so volume. So I'm not breathing super hard. I'm not getting, working at like a really high resistance on it. I'm just doing it. But 300 calories of that. I might do more when I go back in because I didn't go and walk or anything today. Just kind of been relaxing and playing NCAA and enjoying that since I really don't need to be doing a lot today. This is actually insane. Let's see if I can show the camera this. I've been out here not that long, and I'm gonna get super close. Yeah, I don't think it will show up, but I have a big welt on my arm already from a bug, which is insane because I have not been out here that long. But that was one thing that as a kid, I'd play outside. I thankfully grew up in the the early 2000s where you were told to go out and play still, and you had to stay outside for a while, or you wanted to stay outside for a while because there wasn't YouTube and all of the things to do online, and you're a kid. But I would get these, I still do, I guess, because it's probably the size of like a bead, if you had a bracelet, like a wrist bracelet, like a bead like that. It's like the size of that, but longer. I don't know, it's crazy, but it was like itchy with it. It was funny too, is like, I feel another one on my calf, but I get these big welts, and as a kid, I would have these massive mosquito bites, and whether you're consciously or unconsciously itching it, it obviously makes it worse, but I know actually I itched it maybe once, and I was like, oh, I have a bite, and then I just don't, because I'm going to, thankfully I have enough self-control for that, but then I come back out, so I went in to fill up my water, come back out, and goodness gracious, it's a big welt. But worked on my quad tendon, and I actually did a good job of mobility as well. I mentioned the stationary biking, but I worked on my quad tendon a lot. It was a little bit achy after yesterday, which in some sense is expected because that's like the most intense day. Heavy snatch, heavy clean and jerk, and heavy front squats. I have another welt. I am getting eaten alive out here. It's actually crazy. I'm going to plug in this light. So I have a bug light. It's probably used to be hanging up there, but it kind of didn't really do much different than if I had it on the shelf over there. Then I don't have to worry about it falling off or getting the hook to stay on. But yeah, I'm getting eaten alive out here, so a lot of bugs out. I feel my calf. I can see there and there, so I'm falling apart. Or maybe I'm getting stronger. I'm getting all the bug strength. But we'll see how front squats feel. I don't have a specific number I want to get up to, but I'm going to front squat and then do some light power snatches and some light power cleans and jerks. But if this feels really bad, then we won't. Really not too bad. Decided to convert back to the Tyr shoes. They're just more consistently comfortable. The Ramaleos are just too tight. They're just too narrow for me, unfortunately. If I could just make them work, if they were just slightly wider, I would probably only have ever wore those shoes, but they're still fine, and I'm sure at some point I'll go back to them, but the Tyrs, they just fit my feet better. So I don't know why they're slightly wider than Ramaleos, but they certainly are. They certainly are. And I got big bulbous feet apparently. Yeah, I can see the welt on my calf. That's hilarious. I never have to guess if I've been bit by a bug or not. I just have to wait a couple of minutes and then I get to see the welt. And it got me on the outside. Yeah, I saw a mosquito flying as well. So the problem is I'm made of sugar. I'm really sweet, so bugs love me. At least that's what I've always gaslit myself with. There was one right there. So yeah, if you see me slapping myself, it's it's just that. And the thing is too, I have bug spray and I could spray myself and that would help, but it's not a very long session. I don't like using the bug spray a lot because it's one of those things that's like, why am I gonna force myself to lift out here in the bug with the bugs and spray myself with a chemical that probably long term isn't the best thing to use all the time. And I just have to make sure the net's set up and the bug light's there, and then usually it's actually not, hasn't been too bad. It's actually the worst day, worst it's been in a very long time. I actually haven't been bit by a mosquito in quite a while, especially this much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. I guess 6 if you count my left calf, which can't blame them for going after my calves, the big meaty calves. Big piece of meat for them. I thought I brought my knee wraps out. I did. But I'm gonna throw 70 on. I got a new most compatible on Hinge. See if I've met my future wife. And it's really over for you guys. NCAA and girlfriend might never lift a weight again. Oh, yeah, no. It's hard to not feel insulted with the women that they say you're compatible with. Because without sounding too mean, you know, logically, what do I do every day? I lift weights. I'm also a physical education teacher. So you can imagine health and exercise are, you know, a pretty big part of my life. I only have like, you know, 3,000 videos of me lifting weights, and my whole profession's around exercise. So, you know, when they match you with certain people that don't have those same kind of interests, it's kind of hilarious because, you know, I put that sort of stuff in profiles, but just they don't accept that. I guess that's a premium feature if you want to sort by things like body shape and stuff, but you would think me having a interest in lifting weights and being a physical education teacher would attract a certain kind of person, but not according to their algorithms. Alright, go ahead and load it up. Tactical reset there. We'll throw 70 on. What's crazy with that bug light thing that I have is a spider put a web, there's like a cage on the outside, put a web on the inside of the cage so bugs fly towards the light but get caught in the web before they get zapped by the light. And I saw a fly get stuck in there in the web and I was trying to like knock it so it would either fly out or fly in, you know, it wouldn't just be stuck in a web. I'm like shaking the thing. I tried spraying it with bug spray. I was like, maybe I'll just kill it with bug spray and then it will be, you know, put it out of its misery, not just, you know, be stuck next to a light. Imagine not very pleasant for it, but that didn't really work, but it loosened the spider web on it. So I was able to lean it over and zap it, but it kept bouncing off and like zap, zap, zap. I'm guessing it didn't survive the first zap, but it was definitely pretty brutal the amount of times that the bug, because I kept trying to get it to like knock off the web, but every time it would just zap and pop off. Not very pleasant, but that fly was not gonna make it out of there. Unfortunate for that guy, but at least he didn't have to wait to get eaten by a spider. Alright, we'll do 70. I also put this band, I hooked it to the thing at the top, and mostly do the same kind of band work that I would do from the bottom, but what I realized from here is it's a little bit easier to work on positions like this, so like the front rack, and work on small muscles like that, and I can also do it turned around this way. If I lean down, I can get a complete range of motion with the triceps, but what I also realized is I can kind of do this pulling motion here, and that works on muscles that are below the scap. And then the same thing, if I scoot further back, I can like really force myself here, and it kind of works on the front of the shoulder, but really just focus on the front rack because I always collapse in it. And I always try to look for ways, because obviously, you know, getting stronger helps, but even it's always the left side. So I was trying to get something that I could do more frequently than obviously just heavy front squats, to work on those little muscles. A lot of times the weight moves fine, but it's literally just that left elbow that just collapses down. And that predates even my shoulder injury. It's always been kind of weaker on that side. Be hard to believe, but I really do try to keep my elbows up on the front squat. they just don't. Alright, so 120. We'll probably stop and just do a single at 150 and keep it light today. Yep. I'm not trying to descent super fast. Really, I mean, not that I would be super strong on a day like this, but I'm just trying to really maintain my front rack position. And it's not gonna be perfect, but that's why I like my front squats always lag behind my back squat as far as like good numbers. I just have bad leverage for it. The leverage that makes me worse at front squats makes me good at deadlifts. And unfortunately, I don't think that will ever change unless I get some sort of surgery for my limbs. And I don't know if that would really make me a better lifter. Limb shortening, is that... Do you think a doctor would do that? A limb shortening surgery? Oh, it's like you want some surgery on your legs. You want to be taller? Like, no, I want to be shorter. I just show him a picture of Ilya, like, I want those proportions. I want you to take off half my femur and just double it up so I have it twice as strong as a femur, half the length. I'll be 4'11", 230 pounds, and my femurs will just shrink 9 inches. But you double them up, Now I'm squatting 400 kilos. My deadlift quit also dropped to 100 kilos, but I squat a lot. Keep the same length torso. Look like a backyard baseball character. Alright, so 150 should be fine. Might be a little bit difficult, but it should move alright. Quad tendon isn't really irritated, and I haven't felt the need to like redo the wraps. It's a little bit achy, but this one should be alright. It's alright. Obviously, it never moves as fast as I would like. Feeling of it. But honestly, it slipped more than like my front rack, losing it. But obviously able to do it and stabilize it, so we chillin'. Take the weight off, we go down to Le Bar. Think of regular power snatches. Instead of regular power snatches, I'm going to do no foot power snatches. Sometimes it's a little sticky, and I don't want to pull it too hard and knock it over, so do something stupid. I used to put these off to the side, but it's just too inconvenient, and the crash pads just kind of sit. So I turn them sideways, and they just sit on it fine. It's more convenient to just have them like this than to try to get them off to the side. So I have just like, I mean, it really doesn't give me much more space. It's really the size of the squat rack, because I get it all the way to the shelf. So it gives me, it would probably give me about 4 more inches to move it back. Which, I mean, probably too much, right? Too much space. Some would argue that. My battery died, so I don't know where it got cut off. But 4 inches is a lot of space. I don't even want to be confused about that, but doesn't change the space that I have in here. It's still just as effective to have it or not. But that's why it seems like the crash pads are probably close to me, is because the squat rack prevents that exactly. But already I have the spot, and you know I don't need to roll it around to do it. But I think no foot powers will be good. We'll do some with a bar, then we'll do it at 50, and then probably just do them at 70. Decrease the weight. I was originally thinking 90, but I think having a more technical lift, lighter, is going to be better on today, since I want to lift heavy tomorrow. The mosquitoes are fighting over there. They're fighting over me. Fighting over me and my big juicy calves. Now the weight is obviously light enough where I can do it either no hook or obviously with a hook grip, but one thing that I'm more cautious about, especially if I have like a specific date that I need to max out for, like a competition or whatever, is my the skin on my hands. And there's no reason to irritate or make my hands feel more painful than they otherwise would be for no foot power snatches. But the left kind of, not really elbow, but like tricep insertion has been a little bit sore. I've been doing a lot of the band work for, you know, just tricep extensions over my head. But hasn't like hurt while I lift, but it's just one of those things I feel a little bit. And I don't have like a problem extending my arm, which would be the only concern. All right, so no foot power here. Do some at 70. So you know it's a light day when I load 70 like this. I think we'll do a triple at 70 and then do no foot power cleans starting at 70. And just do some strict press. I'm glad I came out. I kept procrastinating lifting today. And it's one of those things that, like, a day like this doesn't really matter. I can take it off and it's not going to impact tomorrow one way or the other. But I do think, I don't have an excuse, obviously I'm lifting at my house. But I do think more practice is better, of course, just from a sports performance standpoint. And I think there is something to be said for, you know, going through the range of motion as far as like mobility and recoverability. Obviously, I'm not trying to, you know, overload or do anything crazy today. But, all right. So at least one. Might do a 3. Might do a 3, a triple. Might do a 3. Really good. I was able to hold it after I caught it too, which I forgot that was one thing I wanted to do today, like an isometric kind of hold there. So it's perfect. Let's go ahead and do some power cleans after a tactical reset. I talked about this in the last video, and it's something that I really wish was automatic for me, but the like setup of counting and all of that, I'm always bad about doing that consistently. I think it's just mental. And it does help me lift better, so I don't waste so much time in the preamble of a lift. It doesn't cost me on light lifts, but it does on heavy, typically. But try to do the same thing and do the power clean, but hold it in the power, or I guess hold it in the catch, and then do a strict press. See how those feel. Then I'll show you some of the band work. So I was going to do that today anyway. Good. We'll do 90. It's not as hot today. It's still pretty humid though. It rained yesterday, I think. I'm not sure. Either rained yesterday or the day before, but it rained a lot when it did. It's always hard for me to remember because my backyard stays pretty wet. But we'll do this 90 here. Hopefully the press feels alright. It doesn't, I mean, I'm not worried about getting hurt, but just not moving it well. Alright. I guess another thing too is I'm trying to, not that I particularly eat bad or not enough, but just tracking my protein, not calories or anything. Just making sure that, you know, I get over 200 every day at a minimum. And for me, when I'm tracking it, like I had a bowl of ice cream today, so obviously I'm not eating like super clean, but like I'm not tracking the ice cream or the banana I had, anything that has, I don't know, a substantial amount of protein. And you could argue ice cream, you know, if you when you eat the amounts I do, it's gonna have a little bit of protein, but I don't really, you know, we're talking maybe 10 grams at like the absolute most, when really it's like the chicken I have or the tortilla or the cheese or the milk or whatever, the Greek yogurt, that's gonna have obviously a lot more. But I think I'm at like 160 right now, not counting the banana and ice cream. So assuming I get to about 200 of what I track, then everything else is just kind of icing on the cake. Might literally be icing on the cake. All right. Very good. Very happy with that. We'll leave the weight on the bar because I'm going to go to the actual gym tomorrow. Because tomorrow is going to be probably not that power snatch plus snatch. I think I'm going to do snatch doubles. But that and clean front squat jerk. Try to push those pretty hard. But we'll do one more reset and then I'll show you the band and the burps. One thing with yesterday too with the singlet is I still sweat. I got really sweaty. So that's something I have to remember if I'm trying to train out here when it's hot, is like just getting drenched in sweat, which is why I didn't wear a t-shirt for snatches, because I knew it would get soaked through. And obviously you need it's more important to have a dry t-shirt for clean and jerks than for snatches. But yeah, I've been playing around. So like, you know, I obviously can do some like rear delt flies and really just feel my scap moving properly. And I actually kind of like this upper position more because of that tricep extension that I showed you earlier, and I'll do again here. When I'm doing these, I'm really just trying to feel my scap kind of locking back. So the front rack one is kind of almost like a reverse curl, but I'm trying to keep my scap locked and then increasing the tension essentially with my elbow up. So it's like a weird reverse curl, but I can feel it in the back of my shoulder. So I'm trying to mimic what I would do in a front squat, the positions my muscles need to hold. And I don't really feel it in my bicep at all, despite the motion. I feel it more in my front delt and a little bit in my rear delt. But yeah, I can lean back more if I want more tension, but really it's like, it's easy to let my scap kind of just open up versus keeping it locked back with this motion, because it's not really like difficult for my scap to be wherever. You know, I'm not really straining in this position with my main movers, but it's kind of like a scap isometric in a sense. A little bit of chest. And I think anything I do activates my chest. That's why I've had a sore chest from push presses, so. So I feel this more in my left arm, which is a good indicator that it's good to do. I felt it in like the bottom of my scap, which is where I feel like I have a weakness of some sort. But lock the scap and then curl it. And there's not like a rep scheme that I'm really trying to adhere to when I'm doing band work like this. It's mostly just doing it until I get fatigue. So those first two are like sets of 10, and this will just be a set of 20. I actually feel my bicep now. And do a hold. But really, bodybuilding work's pretty easy to do. You just go until your muscles tell you to stop, and then you make sure you do the same on both sides. Always start with your weaker side. In this case, I didn't follow that rule. Sometimes I like to start with the stronger side so I know how the movement should look and feel, and then trying to mimic it with my other side, but wouldn't always recommend that. Alright, so that felt good. So we're going to stop there with that movement, do some rear delts. And with these, I find myself it's easy. I'm going to throw my glasses on. Why not? I find it easy to get too much rotation in and use my torso and abs and obliques when really I just need just my scap, really. So it's almost like I'm trying to rotate against it, but mostly it's just trying to prevent that from happening. You can see it's probably happens a little bit anyway. We'll do a big set here. I'm so used to doing band work from when I played baseball. I would do this all the time, all these different motions. And so to me, I think that's why I've never had an elbow or shoulder injury in general, but not when I pitched and not when I'm lifting. Because that's the wild thing. So you doing that with the right arm, when I played all the way up through Division III, you'd watch guys only do their throwing arm, which is the most idiotic thing, because why would you not do your off arm? That's half your body. And it's like your left arm is going to be active in the motion. Yeah, I'm not worried about blowing my left arm out, but why would you not train half your body? It's like squatting and only doing pistol squats with your back leg for your pitching. Your left arm or your front arm, your off arm, is not passively noodling down. And there's also the idea that if I'm using my left arm right now, muscles on my right side are still activating. I don't know how many reps that was. I'll say that's 16. But it's wild to me watching guys do that forever. Because that's when I realized that, like, not that I'm particularly special in any sort of way, but I'm able to listen to directions and just work hard. Like, that's where, watching, the lowest level of baseball, Division III, and you just see guys that are lazy, they don't finish workouts that are prescribed. Because I would have to do a workout, it would take 2 hours to, like, fully do, because it was, like, 15 exercises. It was way too much. But, like, you see guys finish in 45 minutes, and there's a reason why they're the same height as me and were either fat or they weighed like 150 pounds and they weren't very muscular. And for all my faults, I was very good at training, very good at adhering to a program. Ever since I started doing consistent training, really once I stopped playing basketball, that's when I was able to consistently train. So like here, I know the left side's going to be a little bit more of a struggle, but that's with the motion. I want to feel that same biomechanics on both sides. And there I kind of feel it, my lower rear delt a little bit, but we'll do that one again. And it's easy to cheat and do that. I'm trying to be as strict as I can. You see how much easier it is with my right shoulder. Do one more set. And we'll do the tricep one. So this is my favorite, honestly, tricep. I don't like push downs downwards like that. I love overhead ones. So you can do them two ways. So this, I can also let it stretch all the way back and then almost get more of my shoulder involved as well. So I'm reaching back and then extending forward with the tricep as well as the shoulder. So it's almost like a throw. And you can do it strict, but I kind of like the more controlled full range of motion. Especially the stretch back, because that just feels nice on the lats and stuff. Same thing, you just let it hang back there and let the band pull on your arm a little bit. And if I wanted to move out further, I could if I just move the screen, but I'm not too worried about it because I can lean forward a little bit to make it more difficult. You can also reverse your grip, which is another thing that feels good. And you can change from like this set if I'm doing it more strict. Then it makes it more difficult for my tricep. Really, for me, what I feel, if I reverse my grip and keep my arms strict, it does make it the most difficult. Feels good no matter which way I do it. But that also, you can twist like this. I don't do this as much, I really should, because it feels good. You can reach over and then just extend out. And then try to keep your torso like straight, not twist crazily. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you do, but to get that extra mobility, try to reach out and back. And then you get some rear delt into it as well. Oh. This, I can definitely feel the left shoulder is a little bit tighter. Yeah, I should definitely do them like this more. You can reverse your hand as well. It actually makes it easier for that if your hand is reversed. Which I think I made it harder on my left side. Yeah. Do this last set here. Whew. So if you have it like this, it actually makes it harder. If you reverse it out, or I guess reverse your hand up, that makes it a little bit easier. Oh, good little pump with that. But I don't know if it's so much a game changer. It's just nice to have, similar to how I have at the gym with the upper cable. And I always like doing the tricep extensions and stuff that way. So that's gonna, I mean, really be kind of my main accessory for shoulder health and just, you know, all of that good stuff. But that being said, that's it for this one. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Talk to you next one.